Welcome to Loving Mexico. Today we will visit downtown Ajijic, the main plaza, surrounded by restaurants and vendors of crafts. This area is a favorite for expats and Mexicans to come and have coffee or lunch. The parish of San Andres Apostol dates from 1749. The feast day of the patron saint of this church is November 30th, when stalls are set up in all the streets around the parish. There are different activities and rockets early in the morning. On the northern side of the plaza is the chapel of Our Lady of the Rosary. We will now go down the most important street of Ajijic, Colón, where all the boutiques, art galleries, restaurants are. As you can see, many of the businesses have murals painted by famous artists of the area. We finally arrive at the Malecón or boardwalk. Gastronomy. Today we are at La Nueva Posada, a hotel and restaurant that has become a tradition here in Ajijic. Michael Eager, the owner, has prepared 4 dishes that are typical from the area for us. We know that fish is one of the main dishes in all of the lakeside area, but tacos are also very important for Mexicans. So we have fish tacos and arrachera tacos, Aztec soup, and sopecitos. Mike will tell us how they are prepared. Today we are here at La Nueva Posada, a restaurant and hotel with Mike Eager, the owner. And we're going to talk about some Mexican dishes. Michael, will you please explain to us what these dishes are?
Okay, alrighty. This, I'll start first with the wines. For years, we've always been a promoter of Mexican wines. And these 2 particular wines are the best sellers, in my opinion, and they're manufactured by a company called Cheto from Baja California, from Guadalupe.
Yeah.
And so we've consistently been able to sell their red, which is a Cabernet Sauvignon, and the Fumé Blanc, to get you started. And then also we're famous for our margaritas, and we do everything from scratch. And I've always used, the tequila brand I use is Orandine. It's a young white tequila, or what they would call silver now, and it's the one we find the best as a mixing tequila. Mm-hmm. And we with our simple syrup and Controy and freshly squeezed lime juice. And so now to start on the dishes, this is a soup that it's actually been written up. And Gourmet Magazine, they asked us for the recipe for our sopa azteca. Or in many places it's known as a tortilla soup. And so if you look in Gourmet Magazine under sopa azteca, and you will find La Nueva Posada's sopa azteca. And it's something delicious that we've made year after year after year after year, and it's a soup that we can't change. We always have the Azteca soup, and then we'll have a soup of the day. But this is a soup that consistently sells well, and it's a signature dish for us. This is another first course. And today what I'm displaying are more Mexican dishes with a theme of local cuisine. We also do have many international dishes, but these are called panchos. And what this is, it's a mini tostada, and we make a condimented beef with different types of vegetables and condiments. And so we take the tostada, then we put on a little refried beans, and then we put the condimented beef, and then we top it with manchego cheese, cream, avocado slices, and a jalapeno pepper, and then it goes in the salamander, and it sells really, really well.
Yes, very good.
And then as main course dishes, I prepared two two local items. This is the Baja style, what you would find in Baja California, and it's fish strips done in a beer batter, and it's a special batter that we make with beer, and it's served in flour tortillas with a little mayonnaise, and then we make our own coleslaw. And then we make our own tartar sauce. So everything we do is from scratch. We don't buy anything out of a can, everything we make it right here on the premises. And this dish are called tacos de arrachera. And what we use is a marinated skirt steak. And we mix it. First we cook the meat, and then we mix it and saute it with onions and mushrooms, and with a little seasoning. And then it's served in corn tortillas, whereas these are the flour tortillas. The locals here prefer corn tortillas. And then we serve it with guacamole. And so, we have a whole variety of dishes, and we're constantly changing and serving new dishes. And these three dishes are relatively new. And I won't change because we keep stats on our dish sales. Yeah. And if they drop in sales, then we change them up.
No, we're good customers of this restaurant, and we love the food here.
Good, thank you.
So enjoy.
Yes.
Enjoy.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Salud.
Salud.
And enjoy.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vero, for your time today.
No, thank you.
Okay?
Thank you.
Good, thank you.
Traditions of Ajijic. The Mardi Gras is a strong tradition in Ajijic. As in other places, people dress in their colorful carnival costumes and parade throughout the town. But one of the highlights of our carnival involves los Sayacas, and this comes from ancient times. The legend of los Sayacas, which means mask, is about twins, a boy and a girl, who had a sickness called cialorrea. They would have their mouths open and drooled all the time, so they were stigmatized. They lived in Tomatlan. People organized a festival to mock them, put on masks, and danced along the streets. The Sayacas had a sister named Cisanse. She was a few years older, and she was the complete opposite of the Sayacas. Tall and beautiful, she had long brown hair. She was an observer of the sun, stars, moon, and herbs, and became a healer. All the men wanted to marry her, but her only interest was healing. She took care of the Sayacas because their mother died when the twins were born. She never married. This is why the carnival each year there are people dressed as Sayacas. Another tradition is the egg papanqui, a Nahuatl name meaning give others the best you can. Nowadays, these eggs are filled with confetti, and they are sold in every festival there is, Mardi Gras, Independence Day, Christmas, etc., because you dance, eat, and party the best you can to be happy. In Ajijic, there used to be 5 neighborhood festivals, each one honoring that neighborhood's patron saint. The neighborhoods would invite the others to their festivities. There were competitions among carpenters, gardeners, bricklayers, and other groups, and each guild would bring a special dish prepared for the occasion and carry it in a procession with the bread called tachihual. When the procession arrived at the place where the festival would take place, music played and the celebration started. That is where there would be a war of the papanqui eggs, with people breaking them on the heads of others, wishing them prosperity, abundant harvest, and a happy life. The people would go from neighborhood to neighborhood doing the same. Another tradition of Ajijic is during the Holy Week. About 2 months before Holy Week, an art auction takes place. Artists from the area donate their artwork to be auctioned to be able to raise funds, so the Passion of Christ can take place on Holy Friday. Each year, people from Ajijic represent the trial, the condemnation, the passion, and the crucifixion of Christ. The event is held at the atrium of the church, and at the end, Christ walks throughout the town carrying the cross, and he goes up the mountain where he is crucified. Clothing. Today I am wearing a beautiful dress from Chali Boutique. This dress is called Doves. The owner, Maria Rosalina Flores, has had this shop since 2012. They make all their clothing with cotton, embroidered and hand-painted in beautiful bright colors. Legends of Ajijic. A legendary person in Ajijic is La Rusa, or the Russian woman. Sara Alesayevwa Kiva Saint Alban was a famous dancer who came to retire here. She was born in New York in 1896. She performed on Broadway and was famous in female Shakespearean roles. By 1914, she traveled to Europe with Holger Menner, her dancing partner, and represented the Red Terror together with a troupe of Russian dancers from the Tsarist court. Her first presentation at Guadalajara's Degollado Theater was in 1925, when the couple decided to stay in Mexico. Her heritage was Russian because her mother, Angela Wells, married the son of Prince Sofia of Russia. By 1940, La Rusa had moved to Ajijic and become co-owner of a mine in what is now Rancho del Oro. By that time, she had met a former officer in the revolution, Quilocho Retolaza, who helped her administer all the resources of the mine during the gold rush of the 1930s in Ajijic. During that time, she and Holger tried to get money from the mine to return to the stages of Europe, but without success. In 1944, her inseparable dancing partner, whom she considered her brother, died. After Holger's death, La Rusa would always ride her black horse to the market to buy her vegetables, but she would never get off the horse. She would go all over the town wearing a red velvet outfit and a red satin ribbon with a Russian-colored blouse, red boots, and a Mexican hat. She was always on horseback. She always seemed to be mourning Holger and lamenting the many scams of which she was subject while being co-owner of the mine. At the end, her administrator convinced her to put all her assets in his name. She lived her last years in total poverty and died in 1989 at the age of 92. She is recognized as an environmentalist and a defender of the lake. She looked after the well-being of children and always loved Ajijic. Her remains rest in a mausoleum in the local cemetery. Loving Mexico thanks you for being with us today. Be sure to subscribe and leave a comment. Continue watching our videos and enjoy Loving Mexico.